All right, we're back with another episode. So I want to continue on my previous conversation when it came to the keloids. So when I went back to look at, I got my first keloids ever removed June 2019. So it looks like I got them removed on both sides of my chin, and then I got it removed on the scalp. So when the keloid got removed, it looks clean. Like there's no keloid or anything there. Everything looked good, right? So I'm feeling that, okay, I got this keloids removed. Everything's going to be smooth. I'm going through this new process. Hey, it ain't nothing. I got to remove. My skin's looking better. Cool. So then during the pandemic, which that happened, what pandemic was happened in 2020. So like some months later, I'm like, you know what? I got to eventually find a way for me to lose this weight because I've been getting heavier as well. And I realized I have a ton of weight on my body. So I'm like, okay, like let me lock in on my weight loss. Like let me get everything together. I got these keloids removed, so let me become the best version of myself. What happens? I lock in, 2020 come around. Next thing you know, the keloids come back. Not only do they come back bigger than they were. I'm like, man, this is devastating. Like, what is going on? I thought that the keloids, once you got them removed, like there wasn't gonna be any type of issues. Like, I mean, I did a little bit of research online, but I didn't know it could really happen like this. Like, what is going on? Like, this ain't what I thought. Like, is it truly going to be like this forever? So we fast forward. As I'm talking, I'm looking at my phone. So I start to see keloids in the right side of my scalp. Let me see. See, as I'm talking, I may have had even more keloid surgeries than I can remember. This is crazy. So did I get one on the right side of the scalp move? The right scalp might have went on its own. Well, fast forward, I had the keloid on, let's see, 2021. So 2021 comes around. And then the keloids on my face had gotten a lot bigger, right? The one on the left side of my face is the first one that I got removed since I had went to the other surgeon. I had to go to a different surgeon. I had to go to a different surgeon because I'm like, we got to figure out who the best is. And I will say my dad is really big on, hey, you need to find the best doctor. You know, we need to figure out what the solution is. If we got to go and drive somewhere, we're going to do that. I had to give it to him. He did his research and was like, hey, this is who they're saying is the best doctor, which is Dr. Jones. And even though he was located in New York, he had practices throughout Atlanta and in other cities. But Atlanta was the closest to Kentucky. So around April time, we ended up going out to Atlanta to his office. And so got my keloids removed while we was in Atlanta. I got it removed on the left side of my face, and they had did the best work to date, right? Like the office itself in Atlanta was it was a shit show going through the insurance, and just the people were just unprofessional at the time there. But overall, as far as the practice, like the surgeon that he had do my work, they did the best work there. So I got my first keloid removed from them specifically on the left side of my face. So I'm going through a different process here. I go through their radiation and everything. They're like, hey, DeMarcus, like our process is a lot different than other surgeons. So cool. I'm like, we're going through this. I had the they call these steri strips. So whenever you get the keloid removed, you have these strips that are on your face after the radiation. And that's to keep the stitches in place. And then also not to have any type of water and stuff going over top of the stitches. So you have these steri strips on for multiple months. And at that time, I think, how long did I have the steri strips on? I'm speaking about this off the dome. I had the steri strips on for about, we'll say about a month. So while the steri strips is on there, again, it's protecting the stitches. The steri strip falls off on its own. Again, it's a strip that is attached with glue. So there's glue over top of the stitches, and the steri strip goes over top of that. Falls off on its own. So after, I would say, going through that process, I'm like, okay, like the keloid itself is looking really nice here. The area is healing very, very well. It's taking some time, but I'm like, this is looking fantastic. And so I'm just going along with the process, and I'm like, man, hopefully everything will stay working well. Also, a part of their process is you take these what they call silicone gel strips. You can get these on Amazon, and they're used to be able to continue to have keep the swelling down, and then also to keep your scar flat. And so with the silicone gel strips, you got to use these continuously. So I've even utilized these when I got other surgeries done outside of this surgeon, and you keep these on as long as you can. You keep these on. If you can keep them on for 24 hours, 36 hours, you do that. Because again, it's to help flatten things out. So you wear these even when you're outside, wherever. So I'm walking around wearing these. Like, this is just part of you being able to do your due diligence with the keloid process. Again, fast and forward, 2022 came around. No, 2021, even when I moved to New York, 2022 came around, 23, 24, 25, 26, where we're at now. That left side of my face, flawless. There's been a couple of times where like a couple little bumps have popped up, but no keloid or nothing like that. Like, it's been flawless on the left side of my face. The other areas of my body, not so much. So when I got to New York, when I moved in 2021, I wanted to see if I could find a surgeon here to be able to remove the keloids, because I'm like, if I'm in a place like New York City, there's probably a lot cheaper options, more options, and everything like that. So I came across the dermatology specialist. So I went to them, and I've had multiple surgeries done via their location. So I had 2 more done on the back of the scalp. I had 2 done. It was 2 or 3 done on the ear, 2 done on the right side, and then 1 done on the shoulder. And unfortunately, those that came back. The only one that didn't come back was the one on my ear, but I believe because we did the radiation on that. But I'm pretty certain I did a radiation on the back of my scalp too with them, and it ended up coming back. So I was like, man, this is tough. Now with their process, they have it where you do it in person, and they do it while you're awake, because anesthesia can be expensive if you don't have insurance, but also too, it saves like patients from having to spend a lot of money. So with my process, I'm like, okay, things were going pretty solid. And I'm like, you know what? It's a lot cheaper. I don't have to go through the anesthesia and everything. So this should be good, because I'm thinking that my process, this new process that I found, especially I ain't got to go through anesthesia or whatever. Like, I ain't got to pay as much money. It's going to be way more flawless. But the thing is, over time, I've had to get multiple keloids removed. And really what kind of separated me from having as much focus on the keloids was because I lost weight. So how I was looking at my face and my body before and putting emphasis on a lot of these areas, as I started to lose weight and really focus on my body, it didn't really affect me like it did before. But I still noticed that there was stuff on my body and I could feel it, right? So I had, like I said, multiple surgeries, probably at least 6 or 7 done, or 6 to 8 surgeries done between 2021 to about 2020 up into 2026, right? My most recent surgery that I had done before the last week was by them last year. They removed the one on the back of my scalp again and the right side of my face again. The surgeon said to Marcus, like, I'll remove them if you want me to, but I kind of have a scare that it may come back, but I want you to at least go and check out radiation with the radiologist. The radiologist is the same one that I did on the back of the neck, and I think on my, I know for a fact on my ear, but I think maybe the back of my neck. He had mentioned, like, DeMarcus, I wouldn't go through radiation again because by going through the radiation, you're too young, and then I don't want things to happen later on. So I'm like, man, you know what? Like, let me just get it removed. I'll make sure that I'm continuing to get my injections month in, month out, and I'll do my due diligence this time. So radiation may not need to be done, because in the past, like, even after I got keloids removed, not by the plastic surgeon, but as far as for even this dermatologist, I didn't go month in and month out and get aggressive keloid injections. So I'm like, okay, like, let me make sure I'm doing my due diligence this time, and that can maybe be the factor. So get the keloids removed, don't go through the radiation from the dermatology specialist, and then I go aggressive with the injections. So I'm getting it every 2 weeks for like the first 3 to 4 months, and then after that, I'm doing it a month at a time. Keloids is looking smooth, everything's going down, right? I kid you not, probably until like around like August, September, I'm starting to see it slowly come back. Then as my facial hair starting to grow even more around like that November, December time is when I'm really noticing like, okay, like these mugs have really come back. It's not doing what I thought it was doing. So fast forward again. A few weeks ago, what do? In my conscience, I say, man, let me go back to the thought process of going and trying to figure out the best work. The last time I was in Kentucky, I went to Dr. Jones, Dr. Keloid's office. He was with the Lexington Plastic Surgeons at the time. I said, I went to Dr. Jones and they got it done for me in Atlanta. But now I'm in New York City, and this is where he actually does it. So even though it was a part of his practice, he had another surgeon do it in the different areas. He's going to be the one that does it in New York. So just in my mind, I had this randomly thought. I said, you know what? Let me just call their office and see like how much it's going to be and everything like that. So I ended up calling their office, and then actually I went online and I booked an appointment to meet with someone. And so when you go online, you can either do like a virtual appointment or you can do like meet in person. Literally the same process that they had me do in Atlanta, but like I said, it's been 6 years since I got the left side of my keloid removed, and I said their process is probably going to be way different than it was during that time because it was just out of control in Atlanta. And like in Atlanta, hey, you just had the women coming in, they were just trying to, I don't know if they're trying to dress provocative, just try to get people in the door, just whatever, but they didn't know what the hell was going on with the insurance. I'm like, they just trying to make sure they looking attractive, just they in heels and everything, they don't care about nothing. But in the New York office, it just seemed as if everything moved different. I didn't even have to go in person into the office at first, right? So go online, and I was trying to do my research, and I'm like, I typed in Lexington Plastic Surgeons, and I said, okay, well, I see where it says Dr. Keloid, so I don't know if he has two different entities or if he's separated. He had created his own practice now under Dr. Keloid, so it's still him, but he's his own entity now. Ended up going online and then scheduling a consultation. I tried to put the consultation in online, ended up having some complications on my end as far as being able to get to the appointment and everything, and I had to give it to him. One of the consultants kept reaching out to me, but I just kept putting it off, so I didn't even get a chance to get back to them. Then I said, you know what, like, let me make sure that I go ahead and lock this in, because let me make sure that I'm putting time towards myself and actually doing my due diligence. Finally went ahead and locked in the consultation, was able to speak to them and understand the pricing and all that. And so for anybody that may be going through the keloid process, like, it's $4,500 to get a keloid removed with insurance. If you don't have insurance, it's more than that. You work with your consultant, they can work with you on pricing, but the standard price to get the keloid removed with them is $4,500, which is almost double what it cost for me when I was in Atlanta. So I'm like, man, this, if I'm gonna say, man, this is expensive, and I paid what I did, but again, you work with your consultant to be able to work on the pricing, if you can do it or whatever. So anyways, I paid my fee, and I said, you know what? If I'm going to get these keloids removed, it's got to be worth it because of all the processes that I've been through. And I said, you know what? For me, it makes sense because this is the work. This is where I got the best keloid work done. 2021, like 5 years ago, this is where I had gotten the best work. Funny enough, this is actually around the same time that I got it removed 5 years ago. I keep saying 6. That's when I got my first, 7 is when I got my first ever keloids removed. With them, it was 5 years ago. But I look back 5 years, they done my best work to date. So I'm working with the consultant on trying to get a better price and all that. So ended up figuring out a price that worked for me. And I said, you know what? Let's make it happen. Also, in addition to that, I'm thinking about how many people could I impact potentially by going back to this surgeon, especially because I'm putting out keloid content now for other people going through their keloid issues and folks that have never gotten them removed. So I'm thinking about brand building as well too, but I'm thinking about me first. We focus on DeMarcus. I'm at the forefront of this, but I'm also thinking about how can I be able to expand my brand. I'm like, this is dope. This is golden. So shout out to Josie, the lady that works. She's one of the consultants for the Lexington plastic surgeon. So she called me on the phone. She's like, "Hey, DeMarcus, like I got to speak to the finance team. I'm going to be the one working with you as far as getting the schedule and everything set up. I work directly with Dr. Jones, and he'll be the one doing the surgery." So she got me all the way together. Black woman, super super dope. Also, shout out to the lady that did my radiation, a black woman, Deanne, and then shout out to Dr. Jones, a black doctor, black man. Super shout out to him in running his practice and being a black man at the forefront, right? So I'm like, this is super dope. Black practice, black excellence, everything. So 5 years later, which has been, which last week was around, so what time did I get it done? So last week was March 17th. I got the keloid on my right side removed. When I tell you that my healing has been moving so fast, when I look back at the pictures of me when I got my keloid removed 5 years ago, I still heal pretty well there, like pretty quick. I've been healing so fast in my keloid surgery that I had last week. It's only been a week. The steri strips are already had fell off. Before, when I got my keloid removed 5 years ago, I had the steri strip on for about a month. I'm like, man, this stuff is moving good. And then I'm even realizing, like, with my high water intake now, I ain't been doing eating desserts for a full month. I've had a couple on and offs of me going to a diner having some pancakes, but eating actual like desserts, cookies, and all that, I've been cutting that out for the month. I've been on a lower carb. I wouldn't say fully low carb, but I've been having high protein. These are a few different things that I've implemented differently than even I did before when I was had more weight on me and learning about the weight loss progress through the pandemic. So I'm like, this is probably why it's healing more. I also got my supplements that I use. I'm on my magnesium and my zinc, and I'm drinking over a gallon of water a day. So that's probably a big part of why the healing is working even faster. But let me stop here because I feel like this is a good placeholder, and I'll tell y'all about the process of me getting the keloid surgery removed, and I'll even go into a little bit further on the radiation process, as I talked about in a couple previous episodes, and my goal and how I want to help impact people that are going through their keloid journey. So keep tuning in. We'll get another episode coming.